Hey there, Heather, ho there, Chef Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to a brand new Cutter Top 10 video. And in this video, we will be taking a look at the top 10 Canadian NBA legends of all time. Of course, wrapping the Raptor shirt and all that in my um, hoodie. And we're going to talk about 10 great Canadian players. There are 25 Canadians on NBA rosters as of this year, 25, 26, but not all of them made the list. First off is number 10, and that's Rick Fox. Rick Fox was actually born in America, but because he had Canadian heritage, he represented Canada internationally at events. And he was the first decent player in the 90s for Canada. Canada did not really have a lot of great talent and all that. Bill Wennington and that Mike Schmeck guy, or Grimschek, I don't know what the guy, Gaminsky, I think he was Canadian too, but yeah. Rick Fox started to give Canadians a chance to do well in the NBA and all that. Rick Fox memorably made a winning basket for North Carolina in 1990 to upset Oklahoma in the NCAA tournament. And then a few years later, he was drafted by the Boston Celtics. He would be a Celtic for a while and then turned to be a Laker and was part of the three-peat from 2000 to 2002. You know, Shaq, Kobe, and even Robert Ory. But yeah, Rick Fox was on those rosters too, and winning 3 titles and all that, and giving Canadians some proudness. And he was even on Big Bang Theory as one of Bernadette's ex-boyfriends. Number 9 is Dylan Brooks, a tenacious defender, fiery competitor. Unfortunately, though, he's gotten himself into a lot of foul problems, and basically people don't like his stuff. But anyway, yeah, Brooks made a name for himself with the Memphis Grizzlies, and now he's a Houston Rocket, and he's trying to give Canada some hope. He was a prominent member of Team Canada in 2023 when Canada took bronze at the World Cup event, beating the Americans. Although the Americans didn't really have that big of a thing for the World Cup, the basketball World Cup, but yeah, Canada did it. But Dylan Brooks is a pretty good player. He is a little dirty sometimes. That's what they say. Number 8 is Chris Boucher. Boucher came all the way from Montreal to become into the NBA. Of course, you kind of guessed, but Boucher being French Canadian, it was. I can't remember where Chris Boucher went to school and all that. So anyway, yeah, Chris Boucher played for. Oh yeah, he played for the Oregon Ducks, and then was drafted by, I believe, the Raptors. Right. Yeah, Boucher was actually was undrafted, and Golden State signed him, and then the Raptors ended up picking him up and all that. It was a free agent move. Chris Boucher would be on the bench for the 2018 team, the Golden State that won the title, but he couldn't play in it. He was officially a NBA champion, and then in 2019, the Raptors picked him up for a 2-year, $2 million deal, and he was a pretty good player in the G League. He was named the MVP of the G League, which is the minor leagues and all that. The Raptors basically made uh, into a standard NBA contract, making it, and poof, guess what? Chris Boucher won the title as a member of the Toronto Raptors in 2019, becoming the first and only Canadian to do so. That's amazing. Number 7 is Kelly Olynyk, former star for Gonzaga University. He used his versatile basketball IQ and has done much. He has been prominently playing for Team Canada, even though a lot of players pass on playing for Canada at international competitions. Olynyk does not. Olynyk, known for his hair and well-man style, and the fact that even though he plays as a center, he can shoot the three-ball decently. Olynyk played for Boston for many years. I think he won a title with them. I can't remember, but yeah, Olynyk now was a Raptor at one point and then got traded away because the Raptors needed some cap space. But yeah, he's still pretty good. Number 6 is Tristan Thompson. He was a role player from the University of Texas that when he became a Cleveland Cavalier in 2012, and I think he was a number 1 draft pick if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Tristan Thompson made history as the first Canadian, or was it? No, sorry. Tristan Thompson was in the middle of the draft when he was drafted. I thought he was the first Canadian to be number 1, but I would be sadly mistaken. But yeah, Tristan Thompson was a star for Cleveland and a role player for their NBA championship in 2016. Of course, I was not happy Cleveland won, but nevertheless, he was a good rebounder, a defender, and he knew what to do. It hurt that Tristan Thompson played for Cleveland and they beat the Raptors in the 2016 NBA Conference Finals because that was who the Raptors lost to. And then, of course, the 2016 final. So Tristan Thompson still rules. Number 5 is SGA, Shea Gilgeous Alexander. Now, of course, it's too early to make him a number 5, but the fact is that, he's got a promising upside to his career and all that. His move game versatility, he was an NBA All Star for the Oklahoma City Thunder in 2023. And then a few months later, he helped Canada take third in the World Cup, the FIBA World Cup. He was one of those guys. He was almost the tournament MVP, if you will. SGA would help Oklahoma City in 2025 win the NBA title in Game 7 against the Indiana Pacers. So he knew what he'd do. Well, SGA won a title, but it was also Ligurius Dort, who also was a Canadian who won the title in 2025. Let's hope SGA's upside happens and, he starts playing well. He played for the University of Kentucky, if you must know. Number 4 is R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett, great player for Duke, and a lot of people really liked him. And then he ended up being drafted by the New York Knicks and doing okay for them. But then the Knicks made a massive trade with the Raptors. I can't remember who they picked up, but they dumped R.J. Barrett off to the Raptors, and he has showcased his scoring, defense, and leadership, becoming a mainstay for Team Canada at many competitions. But the fact is that R.J. Barrett is looking pretty good. I have his number 9 purple dino jersey and all that because, it's R.J. Barrett. Number 3 is Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins became the first Canadian to be. Was he the first? No, wait, he was the second because Andrew Bennett was the first. Yeah, Andrew Bennett in 2013 was the guy, but he crashed out. Anthony Bennett, I mean, and he crashed out even with the Raptors. But Andrew Wiggins was a big boy in 2014. Cleveland drafted him, and then they decided to trade him to Minnesota for Kevin Love. And it worked out. Okay, Love did well for Cleveland, winning a title for them in 2016, and Wiggins became the star of Minnesota. He was versatile. He knew what to do and tried to help the Timberwolves get to the final for the first time in their history, which never happened. However, Wiggins reestablished himself as being more versatile and was part of the Warriors when they won the 2022 championship. So yeah, he's done pretty well for himself. The man from Kansas, number 25 in your programs. Number 2 is Jamal Murray, a dynamic guard for Denver from the University of Kentucky, pivotal role in a lot of things, even for Canada at the World Championships. But the fact of the matter is, I have kind of a soft spot for Jamal Murray because of one important reason. Because Jamal Murray is from, you guessed it, say it with me, Kitchener. That's right. Jamal Murray was a Kitchener Ranger, but Kitchener native and all that. He was good with a good number 27 for Denver, winning the 2023 NBA championship. The one that pisses me off is that the NBA or the Nuggets or both refuse to allow the NBA the Larry O'Brien Trophy to make its way to Kitchener. Are you nuts? You had a Canadian icon winning the championship, and the title could have come to Kitchener, and Kitchener would have swelled by 3 times to maybe 1 million people. But the fact of the battle is that Jamal Murray would have given Canada some big, and hey, Kitchener Waterloo would have loved to have this big rally and all that, but no, they just had to take it away from us. Are you fucking nuts? Excuse me, but that's my language. Anyway, number 1 and the greatest Canadian basketball player of all time and the era, obviously, is Steve Nash. Everyone knows it. I mean, dude won 2 MVPs, although one of them was undeserved. Steve Nash was born in South Africa but went to Canada alongside his family and his brother Martin, who became a Canadian icon for soccer in that famous 2000 Gold Cup win over Canada, over Mexico, and got themselves to win the 2000 Gold Cup, which is the North American Championship. But the fact of the matter is that Steve Nash could play basketball. He was introduced to the world via Santa Clara when they went to when they in 1993 in Nash's rookie campaign shocked the number 2 seed Arizona Wildcats in the playoffs as a 15 seed. So that was just amazing. He was in Santa Clara for all 4 years and was put into the greatest draft of all time in 1996. And the Dallas Mavericks picked him up and then traded him to Phoenix for Stephen Marbury, and Nash reinvented himself. He actually would be big because in 2005 at the slam dunk competition, he had a soccer background. So he got a pass off the backboard from Amari Stoudemire, headed it towards Stoudemire, and Stoudemire made kind of a 360 move. And then the announcer discussion, Steve Nash for MVP, Steve Nash for MVP. Of course, that was one of his 2 times he was named NBA MVP, '05 and '06. But yeah, he was big. Dallas was pissed off because they missed out on a guy like um, Steve Nash, trading him to Phoenix. I guess it was for Jason Kidd. Nash would play for Phoenix and then play for the super team, the Lakers, but didn't do well. Back injuries would ruin him and all that. But yeah, he's a 2-time MVP, got inducted to the Basketball Hall of Fame, and basically he has influenced Canadian talent like SGA and Lou Dort. So that's something to cheer about. I mean, come on, Canada, Steve Nash, you knew he would be big for the 2000 Canadian team in the Olympics. And then, he's a big part of Basketball Canada and why Canada is a decent feature in everyone's minds and one of the best non European teams around. That's the point. So, anyway, Canada has some great basketball talent and don't you forget it. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.